Swiggity swag, what's in the bag? Jay here, bringing you guys more Smash Rising here on the channel, and today I kind of want to just sit and talk about the characters that I typically use on my teams, because there are a lot of characters in this game, and I feel like every character does have the chance to be good, but at the same time, there are characters that are better than others because of their passives, or their ultimates, or their dramatics, or just some of their basic attacks, really. And like I said, I just want to sit here and talk about the characters that I use personally. And let me know what characters you use in this game, if you still play this game, down in the comments below, and all that good stuff. I'm going to be going through this list here and just talk about the characters that I use and the characters that I don't use for whatever reason, or the characters that I used to use but I don't use as much anymore. So let's go ahead, jump in, and the first character on this list here is Deku. And I used to use Deku. I used to use Deku back when he first dropped his Rising Ultimate and everything, and he was pretty cool and he was pretty cool, but honestly, I stopped using them because he didn't build Rising meter like at all, really. Like he's more of like a single target character, and I don't know, I don't like those kind of characters in this game. I like characters that can hit either multiple targets or hit multiple times, where they can build up their Rising meter very quickly, so then they can go aggro and do more damage and stuff. And then if they chain Rising, then they'll be doing even more damage. And Deku, I feel like, is not one of those characters. Maybe he has an attack that does build his Rising meter quickly, but I don't have that attack, so I don't use Deku. I mean, his passive, what is his passive? His passive is like 3% crit chance and 5% crit damage in battle. Like, I mean, that's great. Like, that's awesome. That's nice. Now, can you just hit multiple targets? That'd be really cool. But unfortunately, he doesn't do that. At least to my knowledge, he doesn't do that. So I typically just don't use Deku anymore. Now, with that being said, Bakugo, however, I do use from time to time. His base stats are really good. He has really high attack and everything. He has a 4% chance to reduce the enemy's defense by 3% for 12 seconds, which is really nice, because that means you can do more damage to the enemy because their defense is lowered. Not only that, but he does have an ultimate that allows him to hit multiple times. It's the red ultimate, the red AP shot. He also has a basic attack that does basically the same thing, but he has his red ultimate that allows him to hit multiple times, and that allows him to gain Rising meter very quickly, and then he hit Rising mode, and then he can just go crazy aggro and do whatever it is. He also has a dramatic that allows him to stun as well. He has his green attack. I don't really use that attack, honestly, because it has really slow startup, but I mean, if you just want to use it for damage, then that's cool too. But I typically use the AP shot attack, the AP shot ultimate, because it's just really good on Bakugo, and it's just really good to build Rising meter. And then not only that, but you also have multiple chances to lower their defense with that AP shot, because you're hitting them multiple times and you're hitting multiple enemies. You can lower the defense of a lot of enemies that way. So it's just a really good attack on a really good character with a really nice passive. So Bakugo is definitely one of the characters I use. Moving on to Todoroki. I use Todoroki a lot. I definitely use him a lot. Like I said, first of all, his stats are really good. He has the chance to freeze as well. It's what is it, a 5% chance to freeze for 3 seconds. So that's really good. He has his purple dramatic, which is really good because it hits multiple enemies, and you can get the freeze with it pretty easily. And then not only that, since it hits multiple enemies multiple times and stuff, build Rising meter very quickly, and so you can hit Rising mode, and then just go aggro and all that good stuff. But yeah, Todoroki is really good. He also has a lot of cards that can boost his passive as well. So honestly, it's just Todoroki is just a really good character. Even if you just only have his dramatic is enough to get through the game. Not only that, but he also has the second anniversary ultimate, which can lower the enemy's attack stat too. So you can freeze and lower their attack stat all at the same time, and it's just like, yo, okay, that's kind of wild. So I definitely use Todoroki a lot, especially if I'm running like in a red event. I have the blue ultimate, or if I'm running, honestly, just any event in general, Todoroki is good, because freeze is really good. Freeze is really good because you freeze them for what, like 3 seconds? I said, yeah, 3 seconds. So it's dope. Let's see, All Might. Yeah, I use All Might mainly because Streak Smash. That's literally the only attack I ever use on All Might. Streak Smash, it hits like one enemy, or it hits enemies that are like in the way, essentially. Like if they're in your way, you're gonna hit them, and you hit them multiple times, and then boom, rising meter. So I use All Might a lot as well, especially if I want to get some damage on a character and everything. And if there's like a stat boosting card, then I put that stat boosting card. Like when I say stat boosting card, I'm like a card that gives you like an extra boost. So like you'll get like 1000% attack up or something like that, right? So that's when I'll use All Might, and I'll have All Might single out the boss, and then he just streak smashes, builds his rising meter, puts a lot of damage into the boss, and then it's just it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Plus, not only that, his passive, he ups his stats by, I think, 4%. I want to say, is it by 4%? Let me see. Let me look down here. Yeah, all stats up by 4% for 8 seconds at the start of a crisis, which is really, really good. Let's see. I used to use Aizawa, but I don't really use him much anymore. I've never used Present Mike. I think I tried to use Ochako and try to utilize her float, but I don't know. I feel like maybe when we get the flower Ochako or whatever, maybe her stats will be a little bit better than these. But I tried using Ochako, but it just wasn't it. Ida, I've never used Ida. I have Sue's ultimate. I think I tried to use Sue at one point, but it just didn't really work out that way. I have a lot of Mineta attacks, which is interesting, but I have yet to never really use Mineta. I think he stuns. Or no, let's see, 2% chance an enemy is unable to move for 3 seconds. Okay, so yeah, he does stun. So maybe I should use Mineta. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't use Kirishima. I don't use Tokiyami. I feel like I should use Tokiyami, but I don't use him. I don't use Kaminari, even though I do have a Kaminari ultimate. I don't use Oyama. I don't use Kendo. Momo. Yes, I definitely use Momo. I feel like everybody uses Momo because Momo is literally the only healer in the game. She is the only healer in the game. Her healing skill heals like 25% HP, which is really dope. Her passive heals 500 HP at the start of a crisis, which 500 HP compared to 30k HP is literally nothing. So her passive is kind of pointless. But if you can boost her passive, then that's really good as well. But she's just a really nice character, really good at sustaining herself as well, because again, she can heal. So it's really good. Momo, honestly, Momo is kind of sort of a staple on some of my teams because I need the healer. Like, you know, it's like she's the only healer in the game, so she is just very, very valuable. And it's ridiculous that we still don't have like another healer or something. I don't know, or like a what is it called, or just like a, what's her name, Recovery Girl card or something. I don't know. Like, you don't have to make Recovery Girl a character in the game, just make her a card. But then again, we do have the Lifesteal Momo card, but I don't know, it's still Momo, right? It's still Momo, but it is what it is. See, I don't use Mina, but I kind of want to try out Mina because I have a dramatic for her and she has the chance to poison as well. So I might try out Mina. I used Jiro at one point because I had her ultimate, but honestly, what does Jiro do? 3% chance to reduce the enemy's defense by 2% for 10 seconds. That's not bad, but I don't know. Jiro, I think I tried using her, but it just wasn't working out. Endeavor just doesn't have any good attacks, which is really unfortunate for him because he has a chance to burn, which burn is really dope. I don't use Gran Torino. I have Stain cards. I have a Stain Dramatic, but I've yet to use Stain. I haven't used Mei either, or Toru. I have an ultimate for, dang, what is this dude's name? Ojiro. There you go. I have an ultimate for him. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if he's good, but I've never used him, so I have no idea. Let's see. Tetsu, never used them. Himiko, I used to use Himiko a lot because I had her Christmas ultimate. Her Christmas ultimate can build Rising pretty quickly because it hits multiple times. I think her blue ultimate does the same as well. What is her passive? What is Himiko's passive? 4% hit and avoidability for 12 seconds at the start of a crisis. I mean, that's not bad. She's just dodging and stuff, so there's no like actual like attack increase or anything. But I used to use Himiko a lot. I don't really use her all that much anymore though. But I do, however, use Dobby a lot because Dobby is actually a really nice character, especially with his ultimate, because his ultimate hits multiple enemies multiple times. And because he has a chance to burn them, he has a 3% chance to burn them for 10 seconds. That's really good because most of the time you're going to get that burn on the enemy because you're hitting them multiple times with your ultimate. So you're burning the enemy, you're hitting multiple enemies, and you're hitting them multiple times. So usually if you hit everybody with Dobby's ultimate, you can build rising meter very quickly, which then you can chain it and then, you know, go from there, be aggro, whatever. But just a combination of burn, and you can stack the burn too, which most of the time you will stack that burn. You'll probably get maybe 2 stacks, I don't know. So you stack the burn, you build your rising meter, and you're hitting multiple enemies and everything, and you just do really well with Dobby. Like, I love using Dobby. Dobby is just a really cool character to use, and like that ultimate is really good. Like, it might not provide the stats that I want, but it does. The attack itself is really good, so that's why I use Dobby. I don't use Momo. I don't use Shinzo. I used to use Midnight a lot. You guys already know, like, I stand Midnight, you know, in the very beginning because she was really good. She had an attack that hit multiple enemies. She built her rising meter quickly, and then she has the 5% chance to put enemies to sleep for 2 seconds. So that was also really good. And I mean, she still is really good, but I kind of stopped using her and I started using characters like Dobby and Todoroki and All Might and stuff, characters that would hit much harder, or they would leave the enemies unable to move for a little bit longer. So but I mean, at the same time though, Midnight is still a really good character because her basic attack that hits multiple enemies, it doesn't cost that much SP, so you can literally just spam it. You can just spam it, keep them asleep, build your rising meter, turn on your rising, build your SP back up, and then just keep spamming essentially. So she's still a really good character. I just haven't used her all that much lately, but maybe I'll start using her again. I don't know. I completely forgot this dude's name. What is it? Koda? I think it's Koda. Yeah, I don't use him. Shoji, don't use him. Shigaraki, I use Shigaraki every now and again because Shig is he's kind of good actually. We'll see, what is it? 3% chance to reduce 3% attack and defense for 8 seconds on it. So on an enemy. So he basically just 3% chance to lower their attack and defense by 3% for 8 seconds, which that's good. He has some attacks that can just do massive damage. So he's like the character that like only hits one enemy. From what I used of him anyway. I have his dramatic now, which I don't even know what his dramatic does, but I know that I had like the blue basic attack, and he just swiped an enemy and he would just lower their attack and defense and just keep going, and he just do damage, and it's just like, wow. So I did use Shigaraki for a little bit as well. I don't use him as much anymore, but I did used to use him, so there's that. Sero, didn't use him. Sato, I think his name is his name Sato. Let me look. Sato. Yeah, I don't really use him. Shiozaki, don't use her. Cementos, don't use him. Mount Lady, don't use her. Don't use Kamui, don't use Death Arms. If I had the attacks for Nomu and All For One, I would probably use them, but I don't. So I don't really use them because I don't have attacks for them. But I mean, All For One is basically just All Might except evil, right? Because he has the same passive, I think. And then Nomu is just a friggin' monster. What is Nomu's passive? 5% HP recovery if you drop below 30% HP. What? So you recover 5% of your HP if you drop below 30% HP? That's a crappy passive. That's a crappy passive, but anyways, those are essentially the characters that I use. So like the ones that I mainly use would be like Todoroki, Momo, Dobby, and then like Bakugo, All Might, you know, Shigaraki, maybe Himiko if need be. Mount Lady, Midnight, Midnight. That's really about it. Those are the only characters that I use. And like that's kind of bad. That's kind of bad that I only use those characters out of this giant roster. But it's one of those things where it's like this game is so reliant on your rising meter to the point where, you know, you want characters that can build rising very, very quickly, and characters like Todoroki and Dobby and Bakugo and Midnight are characters that can do just that. So then you chain your rising. If you chain it well enough, then you can stack like a good ×3 attack, and you'll just be doing crazy amounts of damage. But I feel like the only time you'll actually be stacking your rising like that is during a cross crisis, because you're relying on your team and stuff like that instead of you, and you're not just autoing your way through. So well, sometimes you auto your way through, but most of the time you probably wouldn't want to if it's an uncanny cross crisis. But yeah, those are the characters that I use. Let me know what characters you use down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like down below as well. If you're new around here, you like Smash Rising and other gachas, hit the subscribe button down below, ring the bell so you don't miss another upload here on the channel. With that, I am out. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Again, let me know what other characters you use in the comments, because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I should use some other characters other than the ones that I use. Maybe you guys know something else that I don't know. So again, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'm out. See you guys later. Peace.